There comes a quiet moment in life that most people never talk about because it doesn't look dramatic from the outside. Nothing explodes, nothing collapses, the world doesn't stop, but internally, something shifts. You look around your environment, at the people you assumed would always be there, at the phone that suddenly feels heavier in your hand, and you realize that the noise you were used to has faded. The messages slow down. The encouragement disappears. The sense of being carried, supported, or guided quietly dissolves. And in that silence, a truth surfaces that cannot be ignored. No one is coming. No one is going to save you from uncertainty. No one is going to push your vision forward for you. No one is going to sacrifice on your behalf. And if you fall, there may be no hands reaching out to pull you back up. For many people, this realization feels like rejection. It feels like abandonment. It triggers fear and self-doubt, and it often leads to a collapse in momentum. They interpret the silence as proof that they are unworthy, unlucky, or misunderstood. They internalize it as failure before anything has truly begun. They ask why life feels heavier for them, why others seem to move forward with ease, why support feels unevenly distributed. And in searching for answers, they often retreat. They wait. They distract themselves. They look for reassurance instead of direction. But for a smaller group of people, this same realization becomes a pivot point rather than a breaking point. Not because it feels good, but because it feels honest. Because for the first time, the illusion is gone. The illusion that someone else will intervene. The illusion that permission is required. The illusion that progress must be validated before it is real. When that illusion dissolves, something sharper replaces it. Responsibility, not the kind that feels imposed, but the kind that feels unavoidable. The kind that says, if this is going to exist, it will exist, because you made it exist. From the moment most of us are young, we are subtly trained to believe that progress happens through external reinforcement. We are praised for teamwork, encouraged to seek approval, taught to measure success through feedback and recognition. Over time, this conditioning becomes invisible. We don't notice it anymore, but it shapes how we move. We hesitate when no one is watching. We doubt ourselves when encouragement is absent. We mistake silence for disapproval and disapproval for failure. And because of that, many people never fully act unless someone else is emotionally invested in the outcome. The danger of this mindset is not dependence itself, but fragility. When your motivation relies on external fuel, it collapses the moment that fuel is withdrawn. People change. Attention shifts. Circumstances evolve. And when that happens, those who never learn to generate their own momentum often stall, not because they lack ability, but because they never developed internal authority. Being alone does not create weakness. It reveals it. When there is no one watching, no one cheering, no one checking in, the truth of your discipline becomes visible. What you do in that space determines who you become. Some people drift. Some numb themselves. Some wait for the noise to return. Others begin to build quietly, without applause, without explanation, without reassurance. They realize that silence is not a punishment. It is a test. When you accept that no one is coming, something unexpected happens. You stop scanning the horizon for rescue. You stop explaining your vision to people who cannot see it. You stop negotiating with doubt in the hope that someone else will validate your direction. Instead, your attention turns inward. What can I control today? What skill can I sharpen? What decision moves this forward, even slightly? This shift is uncomfortable because it removes emotional padding. There is no one to blame if progress stalls. No one to credit if things work. But there is also no one in your way. Most people talk too early. They announce plans before foundations exist. They seek validation before evidence. They release energy through words instead of action. Silence changes that dynamic. When you stop broadcasting intention and start storing it, pressure builds. Focus sharpens. Execution becomes cleaner. Silence is not secrecy. It is containment. When you hold a goal internally instead of sharing it prematurely, it begins to shape your behavior. It occupies mental space. It creates tension. And that tension, when handled correctly, becomes fuel. Working without applause is one of the hardest disciplines to develop. The human mind is wired to seek feedback. It wants to know if effort matters, if direction is correct, if progress is visible. In the absence of those signals, doubt appears. That doubt is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are operating without external reinforcement. The solution is not reassurance. The solution is evidence. Small wins, finished tasks, measurable movement. Confidence does not arrive before action. It arrives because of repeated action. Discipline becomes essential when motivation fades. Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls with mood, environment, and circumstance. Discipline is structural. It functions regardless of how you feel. When no one is cheering for you, discipline becomes the framework that holds everything together. It tells you when to wake up, when to begin, when to stop distracting yourself, and when to finish what you started. Not because it feels inspiring, but because it is necessary. Freedom without structure leads to drift. Structure creates momentum. Isolation is often confused with loneliness, but they are not the same. Loneliness is the feeling that something is missing. Isolation, when chosen intentionally, is the decision to reduce noise so clarity can emerge. It is temporary withdrawal in service of long-term direction. It allows you to hear your own thinking without interference. It gives your priorities room to surface without being negotiated away. In isolation, you begin to notice which impulses are yours and which were inherited from external voices that no longer serve you. Self-doubt will still appear, usually late at night, when progress feels slow and the future feels uncertain. You will question your choices. You will wonder if the silence means you are wrong. This is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to refine. Doubt fades as competence grows. The more capable you become, the quieter uncertainty becomes. Not because fear disappears, but because trust replaces it. Trust in your ability to figure things out. Trust in your capacity to adapt. Without external accountability, internal systems must replace it. Not motivation, not inspiration, but structure, clear working hours, defined priorities, limited distractions, honest daily reviews. Systems do not care about mood. They create consistency. Over time, consistency creates results. Results change everything. When progress becomes visible, dynamics shift. The same people who were silent begin to notice. The same voices that doubted grow quieter. But by then, something fundamental has changed. You no longer require their belief. Validation will eventually appear, and it will feel good. But it is important not to replace one dependency with another. Attention is a side effect, not a foundation. Real power comes from self-trust, not recognition. Self-trust is built quietly through kept promises, finished work, and disciplined repetition. It changes how you move through the world. You stop chasing approval. You stop over-explaining. You begin choosing with confidence rather than seeking permission. This path is not popular because it removes comfort. There are no guarantees, no reassurance, no applause, but it offers something rare: independence, the ability to rebuild if things collapse, the confidence to pivot when needed, the resilience to continue without external support. When others return, as they often do, once results appear, you can welcome them with calm rather than need. You understand the difference between companionship and reliance. You maintain boundaries not out of resentment, but out of clarity. Eventually, the effort shifts from survival to creation. You are no longer driven by fear of failure, but by intention. You build not to prove something, but to express something, not to escape discomfort, but to design a life that reflects your values. The reward is not recognition, it is peace. The peace of knowing that silence no longer scares you, that uncertainty does not paralyze you, that you trust yourself to continue, even when no one is watching. If this feels uncomfortable to hear, that discomfort is not a problem. It often means truth is landing. You do not need everyone. You do not need constant support. You do not need permission. You need clarity, discipline, and the willingness to keep moving when the room is quiet. That is where real power is built, not in the crowd, not in applause, but in the moments where you choose to continue anyway. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't.